Expensive oil feels safer, but price is not everything. Our math will surprise you. I am Morgan, and you are watching Recall Roadmap with Morgan. Here is the one question I want to answer today. Which oil actually costs you more per mile? Let's keep this simple and fair. Any oil that meets your car's required spec can protect the engine. That is the base rule. Now the math. Example 1. Budget conventional. Total is about $30 with the filter. You change it every 3,000 miles. That works out to about 1 cent per mile. Example 2. Name brand full synthetic. Total is about $60 with the filter. You change it every 7,500 miles. That works out to about 0.8 of a cent per mile. Crazy, right? The pricier oil can be cheaper per mile. Here is a fast tip. Always include the filter cost. Oil plus filter divided by miles equals your cents per mile. Industry tests also show synthetic often performs better, and many new cars now leave the factory with synthetic or blends. That shows confidence in spec-rated oil. Would you rather save cents per mile or skip a shop visit? Think about it, because that is only half the story. Hidden costs can flip the outcome. Next up, specs versus brand. In number 1, we have specs versus brand. Brand labels shine and shout. But engines do not read labels. They rely on the right standard. Your owner's manual tells you the viscosity, like 5W30, and the quality mark, like API or ILSAC. Meet that spec, and you are in the safe zone. Miss that spec, and you can hurt the engine no matter what name is on the bottle. Here is why this matters. The industry moved hard towards synthetic and blends over the last few years. A big share of new cars came filled with them from the start. Why? Consistent protection when the oil meets the standard. Long story short, spend your attention on the back label. Look for the exact grade your manual calls for. One more reminder from years in the bay. Following the maintenance schedule matters more than chasing brand names. Keep clean oil of the right spec in the car, and the odds of long life go way up. Buy by spec, not by hype. All certified oils can work when they match your manual. And now that we set the ground rule, let's find the true cost per mile. Number 2 is cost per mile. Cheap oil can feel like a win at the counter. But do the math. The only fair way is total cost divided by miles. Here's the formula I use with my clients. Oil plus filter, then divide by the miles you plan to run. That is it. Let's plug the 2 examples. Budget conventional at about $30 with the filter every 3,000 miles. That is about 1 cent per mile. Premium full synthetic at about $60 with the filter every 7,500 miles. That is about 0.8 of a cent per mile. So the bottle that costs more can still save a little per mile because it runs longer. In many shops, a synthetic change also costs more than conventional by a few dozen dollars per visit. Over a year, that might add a few dozen dollars, but fewer changes can offset the difference. This is why I start with math, not feelings. Keep it simple, keep it honest, and use your real prices. But we are not done. Money is not the only cost. What about your time and the risk of mistakes at each visit? Let's talk hidden time and risk. Number 3, hidden time and risk. Every oil change is more than oil. It is a trip, a wait, and a chance for error. In fleet work, when we count labor, disposal, and downtime, a single service can land in the few $100 range. Do that many times a year, and the soft costs add up fast. For a daily driver, your time still matters. Gas to get there, an hour lost from work or family, and the little stuff you buy while you wait. There is also risk. I have investigated cross-threaded drain plugs, double-gasketed filters, and under-torqued plugs that seeped for months. Good shops fix it, but fewer visits mean fewer chances for something to go wrong. That is a real savings, even if it never shows on a receipt. So, when a longer interval is safe for your engine, you save more than cents per mile. You also save trips, time, and risk. We are building the full picture here. Fewer changes, less hassle, safer outcomes. Now, the next big factor is cold. What happens on a -40 morning when oil gets thick? Let's look at cold start protection. Number 4 is cold start protection. Freezing mornings are the hardest moments for your engine. Oil thickens when it is cold. The faster it flows, the faster your bearings live a happy life. Here is a key rule from the viscosity standard. 0W oils must crank and pump at about -40 degrees. 5W oils are tested warmer, closer to -35 degrees. In plain talk, a 0W30, often synthetic, can still move at bitter cold temps, while a 5W30 may struggle. On real winter starts, I watch oil pressure climb faster with good 0W synthetic. That quick film is cheap insurance against wear. If you live where the air hurts your face, that little W number matters. If this is helping, hit subscribe to Recall Roadmap with Morgan for weekly, safety-first car guides. It keeps you ahead of problems and saves money over the long run. We solved the cold flow question. But what if the oil does not just get thick? What if it disappears? Evaporation at high heat is real, and it can change your math. Next up, volatility and top-offs. Number 5, evaporation versus conservation. Here is the quiet leak no one talks about. Heat can boil off the lighter parts of some oils. That is called volatility. In a standard high heat test, older rules allowed certain oils to lose well over 1/10 of their mass. Many modern synthetics come in far lower, often around half of that loss. What does that mean for you? Less oil cooked off, less topping up, and more stable viscosity until your next change. Top-offs are real money. A quart here and a quart there turns into a few more dollars per 1,000 miles. If you pick an oil that holds on to its mass under heat, you protect your level and your wallet. Fleets see this in the field. Lower volatility often means fewer quarts added between services and more consistent performance across long routes. So, volatility is not just a lab word. It shows up in your dipstick and in your cost per mile. The savings can be quiet, but they are steady. Now, what about engines that live in heat all day, like turbo engines, towing rigs, or track days? Let's talk turbos and high heat next. Number 6, turbocharged engines. Turbos are heat machines. They spin fast, live in a hot exhaust stream, and demand a stable oil film every second. Independent testing shows synthetic oil holds up better under severe heat and stress. In the shop, that matches what I see. Synthetics resist oxidation, keep viscosity where it should be, and leave fewer deposits in hot spots like turbo bearings. Here is a quick turbo example for your math. Say your manual calls for full synthetic only, with a 5,000-mile interval. If your change costs about $60 with the filter, that is about 1.2 cents per mile. A conventional oil might look cheaper at the register, but if it does not meet the spec, it is off the table. Right spec beats brand name every time, and with turbos, the spec usually points to synthetic. If you tow, drive hard, or live in mountain heat, think of oil as heat armor. Use the grade and rating your manual calls for, and do not stretch the interval unless you have data to support it. High heat needs care. Now, what about your warranty and the oil you choose? Let's clear that up. Number 7, warranty and your choice. There is a myth that you must buy a specific brand to keep your warranty. By law, carmakers cannot force a brand. What they can require is quality. Your manual lists the viscosity and the API, or ILSAC rating. Use oil that meets those marks, follow the schedule, and keep your receipts. That protects you. Here is the calm truth from years of casework. Engines live a long time on any oil that meets the spec and is changed on time. The real mistakes I see are using the wrong grade, skipping intervals, or ignoring leaks. When you stick to the manual, your odds of hitting 200,000 miles and beyond look very good. So do not stress about the label. Stress about compliance. Check for the certification symbols on the back, match your manual, and you are set. We have the rules and the math. But how do you know? For your car, when the oil is still healthy? You can stop guessing. A simple lab test will tell you. Next up, used oil analysis. Number 8. Oil analysis for intervals. Guessing works until it does not. A small sample bottle and a lab can remove the guesswork. Here is what they check. Viscosity, to see if the oil thinned or thickened. TBN, which tells you how much additive is left to fight acids. Signs of fuel or coolant, which are red flags. And wear metals like iron, copper, and aluminum, which show how the engine is feeling. When those numbers look healthy, you can safely stretch the interval a little and save real money. When they look bad, you change early and protect the engine. This is why fleets shift from fixed schedules to condition-based plans. It saves cost without risking wear, and it catches problems before they turn into repairs. I use this tool when drivers want to extend intervals. We do 1 or 2 reports and build a safe plan based on data, not rumors. If you have a turbo, tow, or sit in heavy traffic, this is gold. Data beats fear. Now let's put all of this into your numbers with a simple calculator you can download and copy. Number 9. Your cost per mile calculator. Theory is great, but your car, your prices, and your miles are what matter. Grab 3 things: the price you pay for oil, the price of your filter, and the miles you plan to run. Then do this. Add oil and filter and divide by the miles. That gives you cents per mile. Do the same for 2 or 3 scenarios and compare. Use your owner's manual for the right spec and interval range. If your car needs 5 quarts, try a simple run. Store brand at $5 per quart versus name brand at $10. Try 5,000 miles and 10,000 miles and see how the math moves. If you top off a quart between changes, add that in too. This is quick, honest, and repeatable. To make it easy, I built a simple spreadsheet you can download. Plug your numbers in, including time and top-offs, and watch the answer pop up. It even has a turbo example so you can see how heat changes the interval and the cost. With your math done, let's land the plane with a clear takeaway. We asked if premium oil really pays off. The answer is nuanced. When you measure cost per mile, a longer interval can make the more expensive oil cheaper to run. But the real winner is any oil that meets the exact spec in your manual and fits your driving. Hidden factors matter too. Fewer shop trips save time and lower risk. Cold starts, volatility, and turbo heat can tilt the choice toward a quality synthetic. And a simple oil analysis lets you extend safely, with proof, not guesses. So defend your choice with numbers. Use the calculator, match the spec, and keep good records. That is how you save money and protect the engine. If you found this useful, please subscribe, like, and share. It helps me keep bringing you clear, safety-first car advice every week. Thanks for watching. Now that you have the math, what will you do next oil change? Will you choose the budget oil and change more often? Or invest in synthetic and go longer? I want to hear your plan and why.